The 2012 piece, Pavement Karaoke by Laura Owens, is one of the most fascinating works of the last decade. Okay, it's barely skating decade. But it's a collection of pieces, the most notable to me of which is Untitled, 2012, which is an oil, acrylic, resin, fabric, and pumice on canvas work. And it's big. It's really big. It's like, I think it's 8 feet by 6 feet. And when you look at it, it's remarkable. It has this collage sensation to it, though it's mostly a painting. And the idea is this. In Photoshop, Owens would put images, would scan images, in this case, a grid pattern, gingham sort of thing, a newspaper, and then very painterly works. And she would put them in layers. And then she would erase pieces from each layer. She would then project that onto the canvas. And what's interesting about this is, one, there were 7 of them. This one that I'm talking about today is the 6th. And they were all conceived as independent works that went together. And what's fascinating about that is when you look at how the works themselves present, they present as, well, they're a painting. And there's the sort of impasto, I never know how to pronounce that comes up sort of splashed across with a very painterly sensation, but at the same time it has that sort of idea that Lichtenstein was working with in his brushstrokes series. Now, Owen projects it onto the canvas and then marks the outlines with masking tape and fills the areas with impasto. What's incredible about this is, one, the name. It's about the strangeness of American, how they sort of bring work into themselves and then express it. In this case, people singing Pavement at a karaoke bar. Seems weird to me. But it is a very powerful essence because it is working with the idea of the layer on the canvas the same way that you would work with the layers in Photoshop. That is nuts. Because we've always looked at the canvas as layers anyhow, and that Photoshop is echoing that. Here, the canvas is echoing Photoshop. And that idea, once you turn that around in your head, means that the tool is the factor for the presentation. And that is very, very different and pretty new. Tepai Takata did the same thing, except for I think she used it as a way of modifying a image that we would recognize. And here, it is the creation of a new image. And I think that has even more power.